at the new location on Atlantic and Hodges Boulevard.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open-air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
I want my Woody's barbecue.
Hello, barbecue lovers and sports fans alike. High-flying Jack O'Brien here with a big hi, how are you? You know, I've been recently boning up on writing radio copy, and today we'll be executing the subliminal advertising approach. Here we go. Woody's barbecue.
At Woody's barbecue, it's what we do.
Let's eat.
If your lawn is not as green as you'd like, it's time to go orange by calling Orange Environmental Services, Jacksonville's highest quality pest control for over 45 years. Frank Frangie here. I've trusted Orange Environmental to take care of our home's pest control needs for years. With the Orange Shield Protection Plan for your home or office, you can relax knowing Orange Environmental will handle pest control, termite control, and mosquito control. Orange Environmental has been giving Northeast Florida peace of mind from bug problems since 1972. Call them today at 272-3284.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. The college football coaches poll is out. It came out this afternoon around 12:30, and the top 10 looks like this. Back-to-back defending national champion Georgia is number 1, followed by Michigan at number 2, Alabama in 3rd, Ohio State comes in at number 4, LSU is 5th under Brian Kelly, the USC Trojans are 6th, Penn State 7th, Florida State under Mike Norvell, a top 10 team in the coaches poll. FSU comes in this week at number 8 in the coaches poll, followed by Clemson and Tennessee to round out the top 10. And you will have a top 10 matchup in week 1, LSU and Florida State coming up in just a couple of weeks. September 3rd, 7:30 in Orlando. That will be number 5 versus number 8. It's 98 degrees at 6:01. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Start of another great week right here in Duval, pregame week. And believe it or not, preparation for Dallas on Saturday. It's a new NFL. Only 3 preseason games. Doug Peterson today, listen, I want to see my starters. I want to see what they can do. They're going to get a series, maybe 2, against the Cowboys. And, it's still taking a little bit of time to understand going from 4 games to 3, especially a year ago with the induction of Tony Baselli into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We were all in Canton, Ohio, and there was that 4th game. But now you get into the mode of 3. Of course, 17 regular season games, 3 in the preseason. Whether you're ready for it or not, you're going to see it Saturday in Dallas. Also, today was probably the pinnacle of training camp. For the example of quote-unquote dog days, well, I think it happened on the practice field earlier this morning at the Miller Electric Center. Just a fantastic day of work. It was their most extended practice so far this year. Very interesting situation involved with this football team, the way that they practice for a couple of days, take off the shoulder pads, go in shells, a lot of mental reps, some walkthroughs, consistent water breaks. I mean, just all the time. And, I try to get an understanding. Is this finally the CBA coming into play and the players' union finally flexing their muscles? Is this just smart coaching? Okay, for Jacksonville, man, it is absolutely not what you get done today, right? Even though I'm an every rep count type of guy, but it's not what you get done today. It's what you get done every week, beginning in September and hopefully deep into the month of January. So, is that the smart thing to do? More than anything, what you don't want are injuries. And Jacksonville's done a really nice job with the elimination of soft tissue injuries. Okay, Cisco had a tight hamstring. Outside of that, everything that has happened is legit. It happened while playing. Set aside the sore shoulder of Anton Harrison, who's back and he's working. And that is huge. That is enormous for this football team. He's had, one, maybe two starts at Oklahoma on the right side. He has played left tackle. He's learning the right tackle position. You're going to hear from Luke Fortner coming up a little bit later on the program. I actually asked him about that. I think the biggest concern right now with this football team is how to put together this offensive line. And that's always been my focus as an offensive-minded guy. Kind of my opinion on all this is score 27, score 28, score 30 a game. And if your defense can maintain, if they can just keep it to where it was a year ago, where they allowed 20.6 a game, as long as Jacksonville isn't forced to come from behind the way they did really the entire year, even winning, what was it? Jacksonville won 7 of their last 9, I believe. And I want to say in 4 of those games, they were double digits. They had to come from behind in trailing by more than double digits. And obviously you saw what happened, during the wild card game. You're down 27-0. That just feels like a mirage to me. Were the Jacksonville Jaguars really down 27-0? And they came back and won the football game? And the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers is still employed? Shocking. I mean, absolutely shocking. But the whole way of looking at it is a very intriguing situation. The offensive line is always going to be the biggest position of concern for me for the simple reason of you have to protect Trevor Lawrence, who had another really good day. I mean, even when you got the red zone, wasn't all Trevor. He was handing the football off. But I think they were 6 of 6. You can maybe make the case that they were 5 of 6 when Trevor kept it himself. Obviously, these guys aren't going to pop Trevor Lawrence. I'm sure if you polled the media who were there and watching, you'd probably get about a 50-50 as to whether or not he scored or, in fact, he did not score. But what I'm getting at, a real promising day. A lot of good things to see, both offensively and defensively overall for the Jaguars. Saturday was a little bit of a shock to my system. I thought it would have been one of those, let's play it up for the crowd, and it wasn't. You had about 10,000 there, or at least that's what was reported. And, again, it was a mental rep practice. It was a lot of half speed, walkthroughs, doing this, doing that. You're monitoring Tyler Shatley. Is he going to be able to do anything with his irregular heartbeat? Is Anton Harrison going to get any burn with that sore shoulder? It's just one thing after another. And then they did turn it up a little bit later in practice, and kind of the point I'm making. What happens? Freak injury. You have the situation with Kirk, and it comes at the expense of Tyson Campbell, who is now in the concussion protocol. He's had a splendid camp. One of the best parts of training camp, arguably the best part of training camp, has been watching the one-on-ones. When you look at Ridley go up against Tyson Campbell, That has been theatrical, and that's now done. Darius Williams has taken over that responsibility. Did a pretty good job today, although I think it was a little bit misleading on a lot of those one-on-ones. It's kind of a half-line drill where you know that the wide receiver is only going to run routes from the hash mark over. So it's intended to favor the defensive backs as opposed to the wide receivers. But still, it was a good effort today for Darius Williams. The other side, I don't know. Clay Brooks worked with the first team yesterday. You had Buster Brown on the corner working with the first team today. Still really wonder, can you get anything from this group of young young defensive backs? I caught up with one of those today in the name of Eric Hallett. We're going to play that for you as well coming up here in just a little bit. But overall, I like where Jacksonville is at. This is a really good football team, particularly on the offensive side. Today, defensively, was somewhat of a coming-out party for guys. The return of Ventrell Miller. Telling you, man, I love the pick. Yeah, I watched every game he played on Saturday. The guy makes plays. If you want to question his speed, his east to west speed, his whatever type of measurables you may question, and I understand that becomes so scientific during the combine and during the evaluation process. I also think there's something that needs to be said about being a football player, and Ventrell Miller is a football player. It was really the first chance, had a nice opportunity to really key in on him and see what he was doing today. As a matter of fact, when you look around and you look at this draft class and you look at guys like Ventrell Miller and Antonio Johnson, I'm talking late in the draft here, okay? Tyler Lacey, 4th-round pick. Raymond Vohasek. I mean, he was busting out with some inner Aaron Donald today. Granted, a lot of that is probably against guys who will hopefully not be taking my job in about 1 month, but they're noticeable. I tell you who I'm not noticing, and frankly, I don't even know if they've been out there practicing. Michael Dogby. Who? Who the hell is Michael Dogby? And is he practicing? Henry Mondo? What? Henry who? Mondo, is he? So I don't even know who these guys are, okay? I mean, the only thing I saw about Dogby is he got in a fight a couple of days ago with Cooper Hodges, but I'm seeing I'm seeing Tyler Lacey. I'm seeing Deshaun Dixon. I'm seeing Raymond Vohasek. I'm seeing Ventrell Miller. I'm watching Antonio Johnson get burned with corners when it's wide receivers against corners. But they take Evan Ingram because obviously you understand what he is as far as a tight end. He's not a blocking tight end. He is a receiving tight end. And you put Antonio Johnson on him during one-on-ones. The major flaw in the game of Antonio Johnson, we have been told since day one, is that he cannot cover. He is a physical specimen at the line of scrimmage. Frankly, he doesn't look like a safety, but he pops a punch. Can he cover? Can you imagine what he would do to this football team? Because in my world, Trey Herndon can't play. In my world, Chris Claybrooks cannot play. If you send those two out, once you get into nickel coverage, under the assumption that Campbell is still in the concussion protocol, good luck. I mean, you better have a pass rush. You better have one hell of a pass rush. What did Herndon allow last year? 71.1% as far as a completion rate? No. And it's not personal. Trey Herndon is a really good football player. He's a smart football player. He is a good football player. He can't cover. He can't cover. End of story. He cannot cover. So you got to get to one of these young guys. But To me, that's one of the brilliant parts of all of this. And one thing I've been accused of for years and years and years during training camp is to overreact. And, I've put guys, I had Daniel Thomas in the Hall of Fame 4 years ago. I've done it, and I made a lot of mistakes. At least I own it. So I'm trying not to sound, like a schoolgirl here. And, you're getting ready to go see the Beatles. Kids, look it up. Something like that. I'm honestly, I'm like walking around the halls here before I go on the air. I'm like, calm down, Ballou. Don't make this mistake again. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, this could be the greatest draft class in the history of the Jaguars. Anton, Strange, Tank. Oh, my God, Tank. He went like 70 yards today, power and speed. And it was so fun to watch. It reminds me of Maurice Jones-Drew. The one thing I always admired about MJD back in the day is he always finished the drill. And I love that about him. And no matter where he was or what he did, MJD always took it to the end zone. And I thought his work ethic was incredible, obviously during that period of time. But Tank has been arguably the best rookie. It'd be tough for anyone to argue that point. Tank Bigsby looks like the real deal. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about late. You've seen Tyler Lacey make plays. Yasir Abdul in the 5th round? No. He may be arguably maybe the second worst rookie I've seen so far. Okay, we keep hearing about that burst, but he hadn't done anything. I'm just telling you what I've seen. He's done nothing so far. He is an undersized pass rusher. Doesn't mean the light won't go on for him. Just haven't seen it so far. Antonio Johnson, very impressed. Parker Washington, all right, backup punt returner, future slot guy. Is Kirk definitely around next year? I would tend to believe he would. I'm going to have to relook at that contract. I still think some things are going to change once they do re-sign Trevor, and obviously when they hopefully re-sign Calvin Ridley. There are percentages out there that could state that Parker Washington could be your slot receiver as early as 2024. My guess would be 2025, but who knows? Christian Braswell, all right, up and down out of these 5 young draft corners and safeties. The 2 from last year, Buster and Gregory, and then the 3 this year with Hatlett, Braswell, and Johnson. Braswell probably the least recognized out of the 5, in my opinion. Eric Hallett had a pick today. Again, you're going to hear from Eric Hallett. Here's a guy who's got plenty of range. Played safety at Pitt. They've worked him at nickel. Does he have the game to be a corner? Some believe so. Others think, he's strictly inside. One of the two, safety or nickel. Still, he's a guy that has turned some heads. Cooper Hodges, you know what he's got? He's got a mean streak.
That's my guy.
You know what Jacksonville doesn't have on the offensive line? Is a mean streak.
He's got nasty in him.
Honestly, it's my biggest beef. I want nasty, mean guys, and Cooper Hodges got into it. I guess it was with Michael Dogby.
It was.
Again, I haven't seen Michael Dogby on the practice field yet. Is he really out there? Or are we just told that he's out there? Hodges today ran with Tank on that touchdown. I bet he went 20, 25, 30 yards, blocking downfield. This kid's got a chance. He really does. The youngster at Appalachian State, Gibby's alma mater. And then the aforementioned Raymond Vahosek, who today was a king. Something happened with Ray Vahosek. It's like, I want to start his fan club right now, coin it, and, just give me 10% of the profits, and I'll be a happy guy. Derek Parrish, their last pick? No. He's probably, let's say, next to Michael Dogby and Henry Mondu, probably the 3 worst players on the Jaguars. 3 guys that I would definitely cut. And I'm going to have to look back at the contract as far as Mondu and Dogby. Hey, others may tell you that, they're giving the team some burn and they're taking some serious defensive snaps and they're able to clog the middle. I haven't seen it with those guys. I just haven't. Devon Hamilton has been dominant. Big Foley looks to be in really good shape. RRH today had a really nice move on individual one-on-ones, which were very spirited today. It was like a 25-minute session and the longest practice so far of the year for the Jaguars. How am I doing on time? I don't have a clock with me. Have I overrun the runway? All right, because I'll just keep talking. I can do this all night with ease, but I want to bring in Dave Campo. I want to bring in the former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, also a former coach right here in Jacksonville, to get his thoughts on what he has seen so far through 11 training camp practices. Opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. It's a good thing I have the perfect eyes, the 20/20, especially when the Jags practice on the other side of the second field. Never an issue for me when it comes to being able to see a number. But just ask yourself this right now as we're headed towards 6:20 on a Monday. How are your eyes? The fatigue, the strain, they're not as good as they were when you got up, right? It's because they get tired just like you get tired. When you have laser eye surgery, you never have to worry about that. Also, when you get home and the kids are yelling and you're trying to get dinner on the table or you're just trying to do whatever it is that you do, then you finally get 10 minutes to relax. You sit down, you grab your phone, you want to read. You can't find your readers. You can't find your reading glasses. You fall asleep, your contacts are in. You get in, you need a toothbrush to get them out. It's crazy. This ends if you have laser eye surgery. Shmunez Vision, only one of the things that they offer, the best in the business. Set up an appointment today. Your best bet is to go to shmunezvision.com or call them at 299-2906. Best way to get a hold of us, 641-1010 on the text line. That is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Coming up next, Dave Campo. I've watched 11 practices with him. Let's get the former head coach's opinion on how the Jaguars look so far.
Joe C., Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, and Mia O'Brien.
What about the motto of the Musketeers? All for one and one for all.
XL Prime Time.
All for one? One for all.
Weekdays noon to 3 on 1010XL.
Taylor Dahl here for Renewal by Anderson. You will love your new custom windows and doors. For a limited time, buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free. The first 50 callers get a free upgrade to TrueScene window screens, plus easy payment plans tailored to fit your budget. Offer expires August 31st. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com. License number CGC 1527613.
The First Coast has voted. Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is proud to be chosen as Bold City's best in the orthopedic practice and physical therapy and rehab centers categories once again. For the last 29 years, JOI has continually strived for the highest level of orthopedic surgery and rehab care. As the needs of the community evolve, so will they. That's why coaches, parents, and athletes choose JOI. Call them at JOI 2000 or visit JOI.net. JOI, where the pros go.
Cataracts can take a toll on the quality of a loved one's life. Maybe it's even your parents or someone close to you. Hey, Hicken here. I've been talking to you about Bowden Eye. And it turns out renowned cataract care is right here at Bowden Eye & Associates. Their doctors help those with cataracts feel hopeful, sometimes for the first time in a long time. If someone you love is suffering from cataracts, schedule a visit for a personal consultation. 3 locations to serve you, including the new office on County Road 210 in St. Johns County.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
The water heater's broken, disposal doesn't work. Toilet's overflowing, the wife's going berserk. There's water all around me, the faucet sprung a leak. The only way to fix it is to call on Roland Reese, 'cause I got the blues. Blues, yeah. For all your plumbing needs, call on the Bold City's best, Roland Reach Plumbing, and lose the bad plumbing blues. I got the blues, yeah.
Mia O'Brien.
Fun-loving girl.
Weekdays on XL Prime Time.
Likes to laugh. Lives to love. No dull moments tolerated.
Mia's quick hits are driven by Arlington Toyota on the video and social channels of 1010XL.
There's certain places if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bold City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices, and all of them good.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
There's a world of difference between and that's why you can trust Famous Automotive and Tire when it comes to your vehicle's care. Because there's a difference between and. It all starts with the triangle of safety: your tires, brakes, and the front end. Take care of those 3 points and your car will take good care of you. Start at Famous Automotive and Tires. 7 locations servicing every customer like they're famous.
If you're a Jaguars fan who's always on the move, we've got the perfect ticket for you with our Bundle at the Bank. Wow. You can purchase tickets to 3 or more games, starting at just $58 per game. Whether you're working around a work schedule or excited to share the hometown team with out-of-town family, you get the flexibility you want for your time at Everbank this fall. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000 to get your Bundle at the Bank.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Hi, that guest is Dave Campo. Always a blast to catch up with the former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, you get him all the time here on both stations. 1010 on the AM 92.5 FM, and I've had the privilege of watching just about every minute of every of the 11 practices that have taken place so far. Dave, thanks as always for a few moments. It's been really interesting. Saturday was a surprise to me that they went through 5 or 6 periods without any contact, but they ramped it up then, and then yesterday and today has been absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, well, first of all, let me say that I really enjoyed standing next to you. It's an honor, my friend.
Because I asked so many questions. I don't even know. Is there 10 or 11 guys on the defensive side of the football field?
Listen, I listened to you the other day where you said you like to listen, and that's what you do. You don't ask many questions. You just kind of listen to what I have to say, and I love to talk.
Yeah, but it's great, and it's informative. But what have you made out of the last 3 days in pads?
Well, this is exactly what he did last year, to be honest with you, of really just before, going into the first preseason game, ramping it up and really stressing the guys a little bit. And that's what happened the last 3 days. They've had a bunch of one-on-ones with pads. It's been pads all 3 days. They actually went to full contact today where they were bringing people to the ground. That's kind of the lead up to that first preseason game. And you honestly cannot go into a game without having a little bit of contact where you have to, sell out a little bit. And they did, especially today.
Yeah. A little bit more on that, because I get every night, don't even practice Calvin Ridley, for crying out loud. Put him in bubble wrap. Yet we know he hasn't played in 2 years. And when it comes to these other starters as well, sure, you want to protect them. You don't want them to get dinged. but you have to go out there and go 100% with contact.
No question about it. And that's what this game is. And, to be honest with you, back in the day when they had 2 practices one day and then one the next, 2-1, 2-1 for almost 6 weeks, you got plenty of contact. You didn't always go full go, but in the trenches, it was full contact. Mm-hmm. And the collective bargaining agreement has cut that back. And if you really look at the first 2 or 3 ball games of the year, even with just the 3 preseason games, the tackling isn't as crisp as it is as the season goes on.
Yeah.
So you really have to do some things to get ready to play a ball game. It's one thing to be in condition, but being in football condition includes being able to take a hit and give a hit.
Talking with Dave Campo, joins Rick Ballou right here on Into the Night on your home of the Jags, 1010 on the AM, 92.5 on the FM. I guess I kind of got caught up in, 4 to 3 preseason games, but then you had COVID. You didn't have the preseason. Then last year you added a 4th game with the induction of Tony Baselli. So, over the weekend or last week I was thinking, all right, game 1, starters aren't going to play. They won't even prepare for Dallas. I'm dead wrong. The starters are going to get a series or 2, and apparently some preparation is going to come into play against the Cowboys. What are your thoughts there, Dave?
Well, first of all, I actually was thinking there was a possibility of that before we found out about that today, because in my thought process, when there were 4 preseason games, the first group doesn't play at all in the first one, and then in the second one they play a series or 2. The third one they play a half, maybe one series into the third quarter, and then the 4th ball game is all rookies and guys trying to make the football team. Well, you take one of those games away, and that first preseason game this weekend against the Cowboys is like the second preseason game in a 4-game set. So I felt that the first group was going to get a little bit of time, and the way he's got it broken down, the 2 days they're off tomorrow, and then Wednesday and Thursday they're in shells. So that's when they will do a little bit of preparation against the 4-3 defense of the Cowboys. That obviously you want to see the offensive line, especially a little bit of what they do with their front.
This morning, Mike Caldwell talked about Trayvon Walker expanding his toolbox. To me, he's always had one move as a pass rusher. Today, I witnessed some things I've never seen before, kind of an inside spin he made on Anton Harrison. You and I were talking earlier, or over the weekend, I guess it was, about something else that you witnessed that he's added to his repertoire as a rusher. So just kind of take us through where he is now compared to where he was last year.
Well, there was 2 things in play today. I think, number one, when you tell them going into the practice, hey, we're going live today, that juices up the defense. I think the offense has won almost every type of team situation all the way through camp until today. And I thought today everybody ramped up. Now, watching Walker, when that game is on, he plays full speed. And the things that he's doing now, he's doing a little bit more up and under, meaning that he's attacking the outside of the offensive tackle and then getting him to overset, move upfield, and then come up underneath, whether it's an arm over, an arm under, or a spin. So he has added some things to his repertoire, and it looks like he's using his hands a little bit more. And that's something, when you watch their individual drills, they're doing a lot with the hand placement, getting it in the right spot and slapping hands down, arms down. Don't let that offensive tackle get his arms extended on you. And that's something that they work on all the time. And I fully expect all of those guys that are coming in on their second year to be a little bit better because of that. There's a big improvement between the first year and the second year, just from a understanding of the scheme and being able to work their one-on-one stuff.
Yeah, I mean, these days kind of run together. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but we watched the play standing together where it was a run and Walker turned around from the line of scrimmage and went back about 8 to 10 yards to to make the play. I mean, his effort is incredible, and he's got freakish ability. I think what Jaguar fans are wondering, Dave, how teachable is becoming a pass rusher? And you've seen some things so far. What can you really expect out of him in that category this year?
Well, I can only go from experience, and one of the really good experiences I got going back, we were a 4-3 defense the whole time I was there, and really, that's a completely different thing for a defensive end, for example. His hands on the ground all the time, and it's different with the 3-4 where those guys are standing up some. Well, when I went back to Dallas after being here in Jacksonville, I was with Wade Phillips. And Wade Phillips is a tremendous defensive coach, and he's a 3-4 guy. So I got some experience there. And the one thing I noticed from day one is if you work hard enough of getting on the front foot and accelerate without any false steps, you can, from a stand-up position, you can really put some pressure on that offensive tackle. You can line up wider. You can do some of those kind of things. And I think what's happening here is it's just another year of him getting an opportunity to work on those skill level and not be so conscious of what the scheme is, because he knows the scheme better now.
Final couple of minutes with Dave Campo. A noticeable improvement with Devin Lloyd, who missed most of rookie minicamp, as we know, a year ago. Dave, he just appears to be flying around the football field, and they're also using him in a variety of different ways.
Yeah, I think they get a little bit upset if we say exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, true. I'm just talking about. What have you seen though? I mean, he appears to be around the football.
Yeah, he is definitely that, and they are going to use him in a number of different ways. I spoke with Tony Gilbert today a little bit. Tony played for us when I was here with the Jaguars, and Tony said it's marked improvement between his understanding of what they're doing, and I really think that with the personnel they have up front, they have good players. They don't have great players right now. I think they're going to be a little bit more blitz conscious, and that works right into Devin Lloyd's toolbox, because he can come off the edge, he can come inside. You can scheme up stuff. That's what they'll have to do. They'll scheme up stuff a little bit more to get guys one-on-one with somebody. And if you get Devin Lloyd one-on-one with a back, he's got a chance to make a play, and I think you're going to see a lot more of that this year.
All right, final thought. I don't believe Trey Herndon is the answer. How about some of these young defensive backs, whether it's inside with a safety or even as another cover corner, now that Tyson Campbell is in the concussion protocol? Out of the last year's draft picks, this year's draft picks, are there a couple that have been, that have stood out for you?
Well, I think Gregory Jr., it looks like the heir apparent. He's getting an awful lot of time in the nickel position. He looks like he runs really well. I can see him being a guy that will challenge. I'm not sure that he'll challenge this year. I think he'll push Herndon. Time will tell on that one. Monteric Brown looks like he's understanding things a little bit better. He can run. He's running with guys, and he looks to be probably the third outside corner at this point. I don't think they're great at corner. I think they have some young guys that might be able to press. I'm watching Devon Wilson, another guy that's kind of shown up a little bit in the back end. That safety, I love Johnson. I think Johnson's going to be an heir apparent. I think he's going to get playing time this year. So they have some guys, I think, that give them a chance to really have depth there and to push some guys.
All right, Dave. Fantastic as always. Hey, leave us with 30 seconds of Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, love the guy. I think he's got speed. He showed it today. He busted one for about 60 yards, and he ran away from everybody. I'm not sure that a defensive back in a normal situation might have caught him, but he wasn't going to dive at him from behind, in that scenario. But he can run. He's physical. He's smart. I know the running back coach very well. His son played for us at Kansas. He loves the backfield group. He likes almost all of them, but he really mentions Bigsby. He really thinks he's going to be a factor. And I think, you put the two of them together with ETN. Here's the one thing they've got this year that they did not have last year in a lot of spots, and the year before is speed. And the backfield has got speed. I can tell you that. That group can, including Hasty, including Dearness Johnson. Those guys all can put the ball in the end zone at any time. So I'm excited about Bigsby. I think I can see why they picked him that high. There was some conjecture there because of having ETN, but I can see why they picked him.
Could his son run through the hole like Bernie Parmalee?
He was smaller. He was a receiver.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
But not as good as his father.
No, his father was special, certainly back in the day. Hey, Dave Campo, always a lot of fun. Thank you, sir. Off day tomorrow. See you out there Wednesday.
Absolutely, Rick. Enjoy it. And tell Gibby thank you.
You got it. Agent Gibbs, thank you from Dave Campo. We always appreciate his time and his knowledge of what is going on the defensive side of the football field. I mean, he sees the entire field, but he looks at it from a defensive point of view. It's kind of hard to watch the game and not look. See, typically when you watch a game, you watch it as a fan, so you're watching what your team does, right? You watch 90 guys. It's hard to watch one side of the ball only. I mean, you're trained to what? Follow the ball. Isn't that football? No matter where the ball goes is where your eyes go. But when you're a defensive-minded coach, I guess there's no doubt you're always keyed up on how you're lining up defensively. When you're an offensive-minded, because he told me earlier, Mike Mularkey was out there today. Well, Mularkey was down on the offensive side watching the offense. Obviously, Campo, they're working on the defensive side. All right, you want to comment on anything you just heard us talk about, please do on our text line, which is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That number is 641-1010. I do want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by Patriot Roofing Services. They specialize in all types of commercial and residential roofing and repairs. Playing golf the other day with a buddy. He's like, I need a new roof. I'm like, well, I got the folks for you. It's Patriot Roofing Services. All right, residential, commercial, gutters, sun tubes, skylights as well, 10-year workmanship warranty, licensed and insured. Financing is available, discounts for military and senior citizens. Give my friend Mark a call, 982-4052. That's 982-4052. Better yet, just go to patriotroofing.com. You can see everything that is there. Remember, unfortunately, hurricane season is here, and it could come at any time. So for your home or your business, make sure you get Patriot Roofing Services. All right, on the other side, Florida State. My goodness, Mike Norvell, you can recruit. Some thoughts on that. The college football top 25 preseason coaches poll is out, which is unusual. Also, Luke Fortner. I talked with him and rookie defensive back Eric Hallett. You're going to hear from both Jaguars as we go into the night on a Monday.
There's a magic in live radio that crackles with life and energy.
Let's go home!
Your home for live play-by-play is 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Who's your hero? Before you answer Superman, I don't mean those heroes. I'm talking our local heroes. Do you know one? Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet want to recognize your hero in a big way. This year, we will recognize local heroes in our community and honor them with a brand new car. That's right, we'll be giving away a brand new car, cash, and free oil changes for life to our local heroes. Visit localwowheroes.com to nominate and vote today. Let's wow our heroes.
Hey everybody, August is here, and you know what that means. It's the official start of Fantasy Football Drafting Month. This is Mike Dempsey, inviting you to get championship ready for your home league by trying out best ball leagues on Underdog Fantasy. All you do is one live snake draft with no waivers and no trades, and Underdog will set your best lineup every single week. Try it out with Underdog's Best Ball Mania tournament. The largest fantasy football contest of all time is back and even bigger, with $15 million of total prizes up for grabs, including an absurd $3 million going to the winner. Last year, the winner drafted their team in July, so don't wait around. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. Sign up with promo code 1010XL to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code 1010XL. You must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Frank Frangie here for Ponte Vedra Hearing Associates. They understand that no two ears are the same. That's why they offer custom-fit hearing solutions tailored specifically to your needs. Already have hearing aids and still not hearing well? Ponte Vedra Hearing Associates services all makes and models and offers a free 10-point cleaning check of your current aids. Call 404-5108. That's 404-5108 or visit PonteVedraHearing.com today.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 7, 1929, Yankee slugger Babe Ruth ties the MLB record by hitting a grand slam in consecutive games for the second time in 13-1 win over Philly.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh boy, not again.
Do you feel this way every time there's rain in the forecast? Amy Salt, owner of CrossFit Salt to Tear in the Riverside area, definitely did.
I had major rain anxiety from all the water collecting outside my gym. That's why I'm so happy I reached out to Clearwater Drainage. John came out, designed a system that moved the water off of my property, and all my kettlebells are now dry. I'm sleeping so much better at night.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Hey, this is Jason with Bueller Air Conditioning. Why do we love to go to that awesome grocery store where shopping is a pleasure? Why do we choose that amazing chicken sandwich where the service is fast and friendly and it's always their pleasure? You see, those brands are a promise. Here at Bueller Air, our team is committed to serving the customer and delivering that same kind of brand promise. Our mission is to be the most trusted brand with friendly and professional service every single time. Give us a call today or visit BuellerAir.com.
I was on the go. It was time to eat. I said, baby, grandma, Danny, cause they can't be beat. She got something else when it was time to choose. And after just one bite, I got that soggy sandwich blue. Should've known better, only Danny will do. Got that hometown flavor creeping up on you, yeah.
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast, and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you.
Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real long-term banking relationship at One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit one-to-onefcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Yo, yo, yo! Are you looking for the lowest price on car insurance? ET here for Australia Car Insurance. Call 1-800-CAR Insurance today. Australia is your quick and easy alternative to pay less for car insurance. Switch and save money. Call 1-800-CAR Insurance today.
Life a little expensive right now? If you need cash, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach is ready to buy. Gold, silver coins, and flatware, guitars and guns. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn wants to buy them. See Chuck and get extra cash only at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
right, plenty of Jaguar stuff coming up next hour. Conversations I have with both Luke Fortner in his second season and rookie defensive back Eric Hallett. First things first, though, I need to brag about the alma mater. Florida State. I mean, what a July, which I guess the decision over the weekend was technically the first weekend of August for the Seminoles, and it produced yet another outstanding defensive back, this time K.J. Bolden out of Buford, Georgia. But, you know, there are two things that I still really wonder about when it comes to Mike Norvell. Number one is recruiting freshmen. And he was handicapped with COVID, and it's not an excuse, it's the truth. All right, Manny Diaz had Southern ties, Kirby Smart had Southern ties, Dan Mullen had Southern ties. Mike Norvell had no Southern ties. He had 5 guys in his roster when he was at Memphis from the state of Florida. He needed to pound the pavement, and he couldn't. All right? So he got caught from behind, and he's been some not typical Florida State type recruiting classes. Done a wonderful job developing players. I mean, look at what he's done with Jordan Travis. Look at what he's done with some of these players. They've gotten better. He's also done a phenomenal job in the transfer portal, even though I hate that. Hate that it's at this point in college football. To me, it's always been about recruiting, and that's the lifeblood. And you see the freshmen grow up and get bigger and stronger, and they replace guys who go to the NFL, or they replace guys who get in trouble and get kicked out of school. I mean, this whole transfer stuff is nuts. But nonetheless, that's really helped Florida State. I mean, 2 of the 3 guys they had 2 weeks ago in Charlotte when I met with them were from the transfer portal. So that's been my biggest issue. The other one is there's been some very questionable decision-making he's made, particularly at quarterback, the Milton crap, and even some play calling. Well, we'll see if that changes this year. But if he can fix this part of Florida State, then this is going to be really where this football team fully does rebuild. And he is having a tremendous class. He's up to 6 in a couple of these. I think Rivals has them at number 6. And they have a chance when it's all said and done to have a top 5 recruiting class. I'm going to get a chance to see them. They're in town here Thursday and Friday. I'm going back and forth. What should I do on Thursday? They practice the same time as the Jaguars. I cannot be in 2 places at one time. And, it's an off day tomorrow for the Jags. I'll be out there on Wednesday morning. I have a feeling that Thursday is going to be kind of a tempered down shells type of day for the Jags. And if that is the case, I think I'm going to head over to UNF and watch Florida State practice on Thursday. I'm definitely going to watch them practice on Friday. But, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's happening in the ditch, where this defensive line is arguably as good as any defensive line they've had since their national championship run in 2013. This offensive line is just filled with guys who have experience. I mean, Florida State has far and away the most starts of any offensive line in college football. That's what Phil Steele wrote. Now, they're not all at FSU. There are guys who have come in from different universities, and including this year, I think it was Colorado and UTEP, some places like that. But and I've read about it. They've had 4 practices. There have been some of these younger guys that are starting to really turn some heads. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and seeing that. The vibe is really up right now at Florida State. So I kind of want to grab that. I definitely want to catch that coming up on Thursday and Friday. But the way that Norvell is recruiting is outstanding. He was really hurt last year by that, Florida State fans were devastated. I can't even think of his name. Was it Travis Hunter, who went to Dion in Jackson State. Or was Dion at Jackson State? Where was Dion at? I was thinking of Jacksonville State, who beat the Knolls. Yeah, he was at Jackson State.
Yeah, it was Jackson State.
Before going off to Colorado.
And the player you referenced, that's the right guy.
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Travis Hunter better go to the Hall of Fame with everything he did. But he let Mike down. Norvell took him around the slingshot. They were riding through. They were waving at all the co-eds, and everything was great. And then all of a sudden, apparently he got that bag, or others will say apparently he did not get that bag. He just wanted to go play for Dion. And Patrick Surtain has really helped Florida State in that area because, Charles Lester III out of Venice, a lot of people thought he was going to go to Colorado strictly because of Dion, right? But Surtain and Norvell got him through that fence. Actually, that's not the fence. Venice is out by the Gulf, right? It's out by Sarasota. Actually, my grandparents used to live in Englewood when they rolled in from Keene, New Hampshire, so I know right where Venice is in those parts. But they were able to get him, which was big. So things are looking up right now for Florida State. Typically, when the top 25 coaches poll comes out, I love it because it gives you so much to do in college football. But obviously, right now, everything is about the Jaguars. Nonetheless, it did come out today. Georgia got 61 first-place votes. The two-time defending champion, number 1 preseason-wise. Michigan at number 2. Bama at 3, and they got 4 first-place votes. Michigan didn't get any first-place votes, but they're still number 2 overall. Ohio State comes in at 4 with 1 first-place vote. LSU, USC, Penn State, Florida State in at 8, Clemson in at 9. These are projections for what they believe the teams are right now. Excuse me. I'm a little hesitant about putting Florida State ahead of Clemson until you can turn around and beat them again. That's just my way of looking at it. I mean, I was just there, and the media who covered the ACC voted Clemson to win the Atlantic Coast Conference. Clemson had the most first-team all-ACC players, so you still got to beat the beast. So, yeah, you got to play him anyway. I've always kind of liked the underdog role. They're clearly going to be an underdog here against LSU. LSU's 5, Florida State's 8, and last I looked, LSU was like a 2.5-point favorite. The last I looked as well, that Florida State-Clemson game was like an even pick. But Clemson at 9, Tennessee at 10. Other notables, if you care, UW, Texas, Notre Dame, Utah, Oregon at 15. Of course, the Gators open up at Utah on that very first Thursday, which I believe is the final day of August. Can you believe that? What is it, August 7th? And the Gators play August 31st?
It's here, man.
In Utah? Just nuts. TCU, Kansas State, Oregon State, Oklahoma, UNC. Filling out the top 20. And then 21 through 25, Wisconsin, Mississippi, Tulane, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. There you go. Top 25 poll. You look at it, you can really make a case for like 5 or 6 teams who can win a national title. I mean, that's it. That's really it. Obviously, the top 4. Do you really think Penn State's going to win a national title? I mean, honestly, who out there would bet on Penn State? And it's not like right now, today, the Big Ten is murderer's row. Wisconsin kind of flatlining, Michigan State down, Nebraska down. I mean, yeah, Michigan and Ohio State, sure. But it's not like, this isn't the SEC West here. Not even close to it. A lot of people around here think Florida State can get there. A lot of people down the road in Anderson and Clemson think Clemson can get there. Tennessee to win a national title? Are you kidding me? Not going to happen. And then you look at the UWs, the Texases, the Notre Dames, the Utahs. They're not players. They may flirt with you a little bit. They're not marriage material, right? I mean, those schools are a 2 a.m. burger and fries. That's not a sit-down, elegant wine and steak dinner with fancy little appetite. No, you don't do that with those schools. So, again, we got a lot of pretenders here, but honestly, only about 5 or 6 legitimate teams that can win a national championship coming up the 7 o'clock hour. Let's begin it with Luke Fortner, returning as a center in his second season. The offensive line has been patchwork, to say the least. There's been some injuries. There's been some other scenarios with that offensive line. So let's get it from Luke Fortner. I caught up with him yesterday. Also, later in the hour, we'll talk with rookie defensive back Eric Hallett. All of that during hour number 2 with Rick Ballou.
Let's now welcome Jaguars legend and inaugural Pride of the Jaguars inductee, Tony Baselli.
1010XL.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Did you know that all graduates of Local 234's apprenticeship program are licensed journeymen? That means all plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs will have hundreds of hours of experience and have passed the Jacksonville City Licensed Journeyman exam. They're the best trained and safest skilled tradespeople in the industry. Don't leave yourself exposed to inadequate workmanship or even danger. Always hire a licensed journeyman. Local 234. Make the right connection. Equal opportunity employer.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open-air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
It all comes down to Daytona and the Coke Zero Sugar 400 race weekend, August 25th and 26th. Answer this question for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400, August 26th. Who was on the pole position for last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010. Who was on the pole position for last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010 for your chance to win.
Got chronic joint pain but want to avoid steroids and surgery? Take some advice from pro football legend Emmitt Smith. Call QC Kinetics.
Let QC Kinetics help you improve your quality of life with biologic therapies that get your body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
These exciting new regenerative treatments from local medical professionals can help your body heal itself with lasting pain relief.
Trust me, you want to avoid surgery if you can. Check out these biologic treatments to see what your options are.
QC Kinetics, restorative, regenerative solutions with no downtime, no surgery, no drugs.
I'm talking about joint pain we all can relate to in your knees, your shoulders, your hips, and your lower back. They'll get you feeling good again.
Get relief now.
What are you waiting on? Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmett Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
1010XL. 1010XL. WJXL AM and FM. Jacksonville Beach. This is 1010XL. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
He's a former number one pick who's as talented as they come, who's coached really well with good weapons. I mean, the upside is as high as you can go. You know, I mean, he looks like he's becoming exactly what they thought he would be. And honestly, it's pretty cool to see.
Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Rappaport in town with NFL Network. Gibby caught up with Ian Rappaport today during the Jaguars practice. We had some superstars in. Steve Smith.
Yeah, they had their big crew here today.
Steve Smith's one tough man. I think I could dunk on him.
Yes, you probably could.
But he's just one of those dudes that I would not want to upset.
Didn't he, Hacker and I were talking about this at camp practice today, didn't Steve Smith get into like a big fight in training camp one time? I think I remember like he got into a big one.
I'm sure he did.
With the Panthers, yeah.
Remember,
he's not one to mess with.
Remember when Jalen went off on him? But you tell me.
Yeah, I do.
He's old. You know, he couldn't get any separation on Jalen. But those were Rappaport's comments on Trevor Lawrence. So we're going to get right back to the Jaguars now, including my conversation yesterday with Luke Fortner. I'm told here from the 7067 that the traffic's stuck on 95 South past 295. There's always been that merge problem. Let me be completely honest about this. You folks in Jacksonville are some of the worst drivers I've ever seen, but when you're asked to merge, that's a real problem. Okay? So I hate it for you, but you get the opportunity to turn up the volume and hear from the Jaguars starting center, Luke Fortner. I had a chance to talk with Luke after Sunday's practice. Here's the conversation. Day 10 complete. Starting center Luke Fortner, our guest, as we go into the night. Overall, 10 days in, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's great to be back out here with the guys. It's really hot, but that's the great thing about Florida. Love being out here with the guys and watching the offense work, and things are going really well.
A lot of moving parts. How hard has that been for you and Trevor? I mean, Cam out, Walker in, Tyler goes down earlier in the week, Anton with the sore shoulder, he came back today, but just the changes with that first-team offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not great for the guys who have to be out or, be down for a day or so. But for us, I think it's great because we get to work that chemistry of those weird combinations that, maybe something happens mid-game and, the shuffle gets, the order gets shuffled up and you're next to somebody you haven't been next to in a while. So to get those reps out here now, at the time, it sucks for those guys who are down, but I think it's great in the long run.
You're waiting for Ben Barch to come back. Shatley goes down. Blake Hansen. Again, just checks and everything. The guy right next to you, left guard. Any complications considering all the players?
No, honestly, I love it because they come in and they ask questions that the other guys maybe not have asked, and I'm like, oh, that's a good question. I haven't thought of it that way, or maybe I need to articulate it differently, and just little things like that you get to learn when you got somebody, a fresh set of eyes next to you.
Year 2 with Phil Rauscher, how much more comfortable are you with what he wants to do with this offensive line?
Oh, so much more comfortable. I know exactly what he wants to get done and how he wants it done. And, you kind of understand where you can, ask questions and see what he's thinking. And just being able to do that is so much nicer than last year where I was just like, okay, step right, step left, stuff like that. So it's been great.
To get Anton Harrison back out there is important, and he's gradually improving, more reps today. But, left tackle to right tackle, as an offensive lineman, I think some fans just think plug him in, not a big deal. But it's totally different.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to switch that stagger and be on the other side of the ball. And you're right, I think it's something that goes up, overlooked. And to be able to go back and forth, it's a true gift, yeah.
I've never seen practice stop the way that it did today. Can you elaborate on what that was all about?
Yeah, Coach was just making sure, everyone's been hitting each other for a long time now, and so he was making sure we remember we're all family and we're all brothers and love each other at the end of the day. So, worked out, and we had a great finish to practice.
Tomorrow starts an actual game week. Preparation will begin to change. I would assume you wouldn't do a lot of studying of your opponent in week one of the preseason, but how will things begin to change now once you get into preseason mode?
Yeah, it'll be, we'll test run it, right? We'll try something this week, game planning for Dallas, and, maybe some things will work and some things won't. And then next week, we go to Detroit, we can restart the process and try and game plan it differently. So it's a little test run for us.
Last one for you, Luke. To be able to run the football, obviously last year, improvement, but what is Tank Bigsby going to bring to this offense?
Oh, he brings energy. I mean, all our backs are really great guys, and they all run the rock really well. But Tank brings that energy, that optimism almost. He gets in the huddle, he's smiling, he's ready to go, dapping everybody up. So I'm excited to watch him play.
Appreciate a few minutes of your time, Luke.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Luke Fortner, starting center for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Conversation with him after Sunday's practice, and I was wrong. They are going to prepare beginning Wednesday for Dallas, and starters are going to go 1 and or 2 series. Doug Peterson telling us that. So I don't know. I guess I was kind of stuck in last year with the 4th game, right? The matchup in Canton, 3 games. So apparently they're going to get some burn coming up here early on. And, they stopped practice. I'd never seen anything like it. They did so on Sunday, and they huddled all 90 guys up and the coaches, and apparently the conversation was about being chippy. Some guys hit more than others. Dewey always hits. That's one thing Andrew Wingard is always going to do. He's always going to blow you up. So, you kind of got to have your head on a swivel. Some guys practice that way. Other guys do not practice. I remember Brian Schwartz used to do that back in the 90s. At least that's what I was told when the media was kicked out, that if they would even doing walkthroughs or so, he'd blow guys up. So, that's kind of a questionable reputation to have with you amongst your teammates. But we have seen some battles. I mean, once they went live today, the very second play, you had Brenton Strange catch a ball, Foye Oluwakan, and Rayshawn Jenkins kind of fired him to the ground, but it was far away, and it was in a scrum. There was a lot of bodies going in different directions, so I couldn't completely tell what happened, so I don't want to say something that could be wrong, but I was just kind of like, really? I thought there was some extra stuff defensively involved that didn't have to be involved. And I understand it's not a friendly game. You tackle someone, you're trying to do a job, but some extra stuff or throwing to the ground, I think at times can be disappointing is probably the word I'm looking at. We saw a fight, as DJ Coleman, Blake Hance. This was during individual drills. Again, it was very extended. It was 25 minutes worth. Pass rushers against Blake Hance. As far as I'm concerned, DJ Coleman can step on a bus one way out of Duval. He's got no chance of making this football team, but he just started throwing lefts and rights and lefts and rights, and Phil Rauscher's like, get the hell out of here. And there was some other choice words used. Roy Robertson Harris took the role of the mentor and, kind of talked him down. But you're going to get some of those battles. And, we talked about the battles over the weekend that happened between Cooper Hodges and with Michael Dogby. I'm glad that I finally saw Dogby get involved in something with Cooper Hodges because I was completely convinced there was no such thing as Michael Dogby because I haven't seen him do anything in 11 practices. The Jaguars' offensive line is a work in progress. There's guys on the sideline who continue to wear Jaguars' offensive line 31st in the NFL. And I think a lot of this is covered up because the Jaguars went from 14.9 to 23.8 points a game. Trevor Lawrence improved tremendously, and Travis Etienne ran for more than 1,100 yards. Some will say, well, they didn't allow a lot of sacks. Well, you're correct, but I also want to put so much of that on the growth of Trevor Lawrence, his escapability in the pocket, his improvement with his release that went year one to year two, nearly a half a second it improved by. There's things that Trevor needs to work on, okay? He led the NFL in fumbles at the quarterback position. The Jaguars as a unit were among league leaders. As a matter of fact, I believe they led the NFL in drop passes. They had 32 with the wide receiving core. 41 as a whole, if you include tight ends and backs. I think they have the right coaching. I really feel that way after 2 years of questionable coaching at that position with Sanjay Lau and Chris Jackson. I think the former Jaguar practice squad player coming over from Buffalo, Chad Hall, is a very vocal, animated, and great teacher at that position. I'm expecting – it also helps to add Calvin Ridley, but I'm expecting even better things out of that wide receiving core. It just comes down to me with this, with the offensive line. Health and attitude, right? I want attitude with the offensive line. They don't have it. With apologies to Luke Fortner, he's really not an attitude guy. Walker Little has been outstanding. He's arguably been, if you were to rank the top offensive players so far in camp, you begin with Trevor and Calvin. Calvin had that one bad day where he had the 4 drops. And then you may go to Tank, but you got to put Walker Little right in there. He has been by far the most dominant offensive lineman. And Cam's done some really good things when asked. The more I see of this offensive line, the more I'm convinced that Cam needs to be a part of it. I wish he would get some reps at left guard. He's not. He's getting left tackle only. It's Little who moves inside at left guard. So right now, if you're a betting man, if you're a betting woman, Game 5, regardless of what happens here with Walker Little, I think you're going to see Cam at left tackle, and I think you're going to see Little at left guard, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me considering Walker Little is your future left tackle. It just doesn't. But then again, coaches think one way, I think another way. The attitude is I want some meanness. I want some nasty. And I don't know where it's coming from. Is it too much to ask for Anton Harrison, who absolutely has the ability? He has the quick feet. I think he's got the power. He's learning a new position, right tackle compared to left tackle. There are times where I think he's overwhelmed, and you would expect that with any offensive lineman. I'm told he's nasty. I haven't seen it yet. Really, the only one I've seen who's got nasty in him is Cooper Hodges. So, am I overdoing it? Maybe. I just, to me, that's the identification of a football team. As I've always said, 96, 99, those AFC championship games, those great runs, that team was built through the offensive line. You know, they didn't get the press of Jimmy and Keenan and Mark Brunell and Fred Taylor and company, but that was the nucleus of the football team. That's not the nucleus of this football team. And I want it to be. So this is almost like an open plea, you know? Will it begin to change? I hope it does. Anyway, thank you to Luke Fortner. All right, let me get back. Let's go to the defensive side of the football. Question marks there. Boy, I'm scared right now once you get to the secondary. And with Campbell being out, to me it's petrifying if you're going to walk out as a starting defense. Chris Claybrooks on the other side and Trey Herndon the nickel. That's like a horror film. It really is, man. That's like one of those deals when everyone, in horror films, everyone goes in a different direction. Instead of staying in a group and everyone grabs something, grab a weapon, try to fight off Jason Voorhees, try to fight off Michael Myers. They separate, and then you just pick them one by one. My goodness. Chris Claybrooks and Trey Herndon in your defensive backfield. Holy freaking smokes. On the other side, let's talk about that, including a conversation I had today with rookie defensive back Eric Hallett.
1010XL.
When I met you in the summer.
Jacksonville's summer station.
When I met you in the summer.
Where summer memories come alive.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Malfunctions in your electrical panel can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
888-8-Sparky. Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. Thanks to the coaches and the schools who believe in our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Head Coach Ferland Dormery of Trinity Christian Academy High School. Our athletic program selected Southeast Orthopedic Specialists to work with our state championship football team and will continue to use them. We recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 7, 1929, Yankee slugger Babe Ruth ties the MLB record by hitting a grand slam in consecutive games for the second time in 13-1 win over Philly.
Your Jaguars are back at Everbank Stadium, and we can't wait to see you there. Wow! Deciding on your favorite matchup has never been easier with a bundle at the bank. Purchase tickets to 3 or more games, starting at just $58 per game. As a bundle purchaser, you receive exclusive access to Jaguars and Daly's Place pre-sales, discounts on single game tickets, and so much more. But seats are selling fast, so lock them in now. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
Exciting news from Woody's Barbecue. Backed by overwhelming demand, Woody's presents their all-you-can-eat chicken special every Sunday with all the trimmings, just $12.49.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do.
Let's eat. Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Get ready to swing into Flavortown at Fourscore Golf Tavern and tee off your taste buds on our brand new, mouth-watering menu items. Our talented mixologists have created an array of cocktails that will make you feel like you're celebrating a victory on the 18th green. So swing by Fourscore Golf Tavern today and take your taste buds on a golf-inspired culinary journey. We're located in the San Marcos Square. Visit our website at fourscoregolftavern.com for our full menu and special events. Oh, and don't forget to tag us with your favorite picks. Fourscore Golf Tavern.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, busy week right here in Duval. The Jags off tomorrow. Back at it Wednesday, Thursday. They fly to Dallas on Friday, play on Saturday at 5 o'clock. Also, Florida State practicing at the University of North Florida. That'll be Thursday and Friday. Final thought in the offensive line. I look at a guy like Blake Hance, who today, again, is a starter at left guard. He also filled in at right tackle, along with Josh Wells, when Anton Harrison couldn't go. I think it's a formidable offensive line, and it's a deep offensive line. I think they feel pretty good about it. I think they feel better about it than myself included, a lot of the media and a lot of the fans. And all of a sudden, it's going to be interesting to see how those final spots go. And you can make a transaction, obviously, 1 month in, when Cam Robinson does return. But, yeah, I don't know if there's any certainties right there. Okay? When Ben Barch comes back and when Cam Robinson comes back. You add those two, and that gives you 7, right? If you count Shatley and you count Robinson, so you got the starting 7. Then all of a sudden you look at Josh Wells, who's a 10-year vet. Got to believe he's their 4th tackle, right? You're going to have 3. And even though I think there's a real good chance that Walker Little's your left guard. There's no way you can sit him down if he stays at the level that he's playing. The other thing would be, and I hate even to say it, if Anton Harrison was to struggle, could Walker Little go to right tackle? Anton Harrison, him being back is so crucial for this football team. And as I said earlier, he's doing some pretty good things. He just needs rep after rep after rep. Coy Cronk, at times you've seen him. Cole Van Lanen, at times you've seen him. Chandler Brewer, at times. We talked about Cooper Hodges, a 7th-round pick. So I think they feel okay about that group. Before we get to the defense, Gibby, you've been out there a bunch. Is anything turned your head either way out of what you've seen with the Jaguars practicing?
Yeah, I think obviously you point to what Calvin Ridley has shown the ability to do. I mean, it just gives the offense an extra gear. I mean, just seeing what he's able to do from an explosiveness standpoint. Antonio Johnson, I like him. Coach Campo was talking about him when we had him on earlier tonight. The potential for Antonio Johnson, you mentioned his ability to cover. That's maybe a question mark, but I think Antonio Johnson, whether he, is he a safety, corner, whatever he plays for the Jags in the secondary, I'm excited about what the possibility of what he can do. Pass rush is a concern. I mean, Justin Houston goes to Carolina yesterday. That kind of would frustrate a lot of Jaguar fans because you could probably sit there and say right now, Rick, Jaguar fans driving down the road at 7:30. Why couldn't we sign Justin Houston for what Carolina gave him? And I think it's a gripe you could obviously have.
$18 million under the cap. You can afford to go out and get him. They elect not to. Of course, Yannick Ngakoue went to the Bears last week. Speaking of former Jaguars, Miles Jack also signed over the weekend with the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, let's get to the defensive side. Let's get to Eric Hallett, a guy who's played primarily safety in college. They've been working him at nickel. I've even seen him at times, out on the boundary. So a guy that has talent and a guy that I believe they like. I just talked about backup offensive linemen. Be very fascinating to see the last couple of spots on this Jaguars roster in the defensive backfield. After today's practice, I had an opportunity to talk with rookie Eric Hallett. Day 11 complete here at the Miller Electric Center with rookie Eric Hallett. Boy, you guys opened it up today, some live hitting. Your thoughts?
It was fun. I mean, that's what you come and play football for, so this is a really fun day to be out here.
First things first, what do you think of this? I mean, obviously you had a great facility at Pittsburgh and NFL Field, an NFL Stadium, but walking into this brand new Miller Electric Center, what's it like?
I mean, it's new, like you said. It's the top notch. So, I mean, literally, when we walked in here, we opened this up. This is the best facility in the NFL. I mean, the Steelers had a phenomenal facility, and, Pittsburgh shared that as well. But this being brand new, it's the best in the business.
What's the biggest challenge so far, 11 days in the camp for you?
Honestly, it's just these long, hard days. I'm used to the Pittsburgh kind of cool, the wind coming off the river. It's just hot out here in Florida, so just kind of acclimating my body to that.
There's an opportunity, in my opinion, for one of you young guys to come in immediately. What do you, in a perfect world, you like being on the island? Do you like being inside in the slot? What's best for Eric Hallett?
Personally, I mean, I just like playing football no matter where it's at. I just want to be on the field, help the team as best as I can. Wherever they see fit, I'm happy to do that.
What's it like when you do get an opportunity to get those reps against Ridley or Zay or, Christian Kirk and with Trevor throwing, welcome to the NFL, I guess.
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of a welcome to the NFL, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of a gauge for myself. It's some of those guys who obviously at the top of their game, not only on this team, but in the entire league. And so if I know I can match up to them or I'm in the same vicinity as the throw, I know I can do well on Sundays.
I know it's segment by segment and you go through these days and they're long, but if you had a time now on this Monday to think about what it's going to be like leaving on Friday, going to Dallas, and then playing the Cowboys on Saturday?
No, honestly, I haven't thought that far ahead. I try to take it 24 hours at a time.
Yeah, going to be something for you. All right, just final thoughts. The leadership, Williams and obviously Andre Sisco there as a safety, and on the other side, it's too bad Tyson's out for a little bit of time with the concussion protocol. But what's it like with those leaders playing under them?
I mean, personally, it's phenomenal. I ask them any question, they're jumping to answer the question. Even like if I make a mistake on the field, as soon as I come to the sideline, hey, this is what you could have done better. This is how you can kind of tweak your game a little bit so you can be a little bit better for the next time.
Is there inter-competition? Last year you had guys selected in the 6th, 7th round, then yourself with Braswell and Antonio coming in this year. And, even a guy like Caleb Hayes undrafted, I think he's done some nice things. What's it like with all you young DBs?
I think there's always competition, but I think at the same time it brings us closer together. Because at the same time we're competing against each other, we're on the same team. So if somebody makes a bad rep, like I said before, hey, this is how you can do better, this is how I can kind of pick you up, tweak it for the next time so we can all be better. Because at the end of the day, we're all one team, we're all the Jaguars.
Appreciate a few moments of your time.
Absolutely.
Eric Hallett, 5'11", 190. He's listed as a corner. He played safety at Pitt. He's worked some safety here. He's worked some nickel here. This is, to me, the most interesting part of training camp. It really is. And, right now, if you were to play this Sunday, Tyson Campbell's out. The Sisco injury, I think, and I'm not, I often kid about the media doctors because we all have an opinion when, today Jamal Agnew went down. He was down for probably 60 seconds, maybe 90 seconds. No idea what it was. The belief with the media doctors was that he had his wind knocked out of him, which is one of the worst things that can, besides getting hit below the belt. All right, ladies, laugh. Why is it whenever a guy gets hit in the jewels, ladies of all ages just buckle over in laughter? Have you ever had the wind knocked out of you, Gibby?
Yes, it's awful.
It's one of the scary. When you get hit below the belt, that is so brutally painful. But when you have the wind knocked out of you, it's one of the scariest situations that you're ever going to go through because you cannot catch your breath. And there's no air in your lungs at that particular time. So, that's one thing that always amazes me about these fighters is how they don't have the wind knocked out of them. But, and I don't know. That may not have been the case with Agnew. It was my impression that it was. But Cisco, I think, is going to be fine. He's back working. If they were to take the field, my guess right now, when you take out someone from someone from the front seven, and you go into your nickel coverage, you have Williams on one side, who did a nice job today against Wrigley. Again, some of it was unfair because it was a defensive drill. You're only going to one side, but he still played well, okay? You've got Rayshawn and Cisco in the middle at safety. Your slot is Trey Herndon. And right now, today, your other corner is Chris Claybrooks. Now, Buster Brown got burned today with the first team as the outside corner. Claybrooks more yesterday. So, in my opinion, right now, the depth chart at cornerback goes Tyson Campbell, Darius Williams, Chris Claybrooks, Buster Brown. Slot, Trey Herndon, okay? Who's your backup slot? Right now, my guess is Gregory Jr. I think in certain situations, it's going to be Antonio Johnson. Run type of scenarios. And this just in, you typically don't plug in a slot guy, a nickel base coverage guy, thinking it's going to be a run, right? For the most part, when you go into that type of offense, or that type of defense, you expect your opponent to be throwing the football. But all of a sudden, you've got phenomenal ability here. And, where I'm at, I kind of want to move on from Chris Claybrooks, and I want to definitely move on from Trey Herndon. What makes Claybrooks valuable in my world is that he's one of the best gunners in the NFL. He really is. With him and Daniel Thomas and Logan Cook today, what a weapon Logan Cook is. I mean, the Jaguars' special teams are legit. I think they're one of the top 5 units in the NFL. If you look at Brandon McManus, Logan Cook, and a healthy Jamal Agnew, I think you have to consider, though, and I hate to do it, but guessing you're going to get 17 games out of Jamal Agnew is probably wishful thinking. And right now, my guess is that Parker Washington, the rookie out of Penn State, is going to be the backup. But you've got great special teams, and we know that kicks are gone. Kick returns are gone for the most part. So it's only nowadays field goals, punt, return. Claybrooks is important. I don't think he can cover. So do you cut one of those? Do you cut it? Not early. They're both going to make the team, right? But do these kids get better? And you got Dewey there, which, I've never understood. I mean, he got beat Sunday by two or three steps. Ball was underthrown, came back, made a ball, turns around and fires up the fan. So, he's got that. I mean, Dewey, he's got the cult. He's got the fellowship. It was always the Jags. I respect it, to that extent. Another guy that can help you in special teams. Boy, man, you got to be petrified, though. But you got him in coverage, right? That's my point here. Coverage. If you're playing 1960s, 1970 style of football, I'd love to have Dewey in there. But when you're passing the ball all over the place, you've got issues in coverage with Trey Herndon, Andrew Wingard, and Chris Claybrooks. So enter these young kids. Who can step up? Antonio Johnson, Buster Brown, Gregory Jr., Christian Braswell, Eric Hallett, Caleb Hayes. Man, I hope they can bury him on the practice squad. He has got phenomenal length. He's got blazing speed. I do not know if he's a good football player. He's undrafted. Tavon Campbell's a guy who gets zero recognition. He's just one of those guys that you never talk about. He's actually a pretty good football player. The Wilson kid, David Wilson, was talked about today. Latavius Brini was talked about over the weekend by Heath Farwell as far as what he's able to give you special teams-wise. So, again, what I'm trying to get at is they liked the group. This is a better roster. It's a better group. Can you get just one of those guys to step forward this year? That's it. One of the five. If I was to guess right now, the leader for me would be Gregory Jr. It would, as your replacement at nickel. I think you're going to see Antonio Johnson involved in some packages. The other major, upgrade would be, could one of these guys, Hallett, Braswell, or Buster Brown, who, again, got an opportunity to run with the first team, could any one of those type of guys step up as a corner? And right now, as I just had the conversation, Hallett's actually working as much, if not more, in the slot or really at safety. So it's a continuous spinning wheel right now for the Jaguars in their defensive secondary. But I tell you what, finding out how to make that team, and you hope you can hang on to these guys. You hope you can convince them to stay here on the practice squad. Look at Gregory Jr. He's the best example. Gregory Jr. did not make the team last year as a 6th-round pick. The 7th-round pick, Buster Brown, did. I interviewed Gregory Jr. last week. He was involved in everything as a practice squad player. His name was on the board. He was involved with everything. They called him up very late. Now, all of a sudden, it absolutely feels like Gregory Jr. makes the 53. I'm not going to call it a lock. That would be foolish on my part. But if you happen to be doing your 53 and you don't have Gregory Jr. on it, I think you're making a mistake. But that's development. That's improvement. The Shea Townsend, Mike Caldwell, this staff, they got a lot of good coaches over there. I'm encouraged about these young DBs. And they're not all going to work. I mean, you may only get one of the 5 to really work for you. But you know what? 6th, 7th-round picks? Yeah. I think he would take one of those 4. Obviously, Johnson, the safety, is a 5th-rounder. When we come back, final thoughts on this Monday edition. We'll also get you ready for Hacker Nation, who takes over at 8 o'clock.
1010XL.
The quality and standard of your life will not be determined by how well you play football, but by how well you confront adversity. Attitude.
Where attitude is altitude.
When you choose J-Dog Junk Removal, you're not just hiring a junk removal service. You're investing in a company that believes in making a lasting impact on the lives of our veterans and our community. J-Dog is dedicated to giving back to our local veteran organizations. They have donated over $50,000 in materials and services, ensuring that these valuable organizations have the resources they need to support our veterans. J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned, veteran-operated.
In your free time, the last thing you want to do is clean your house.
Right.
First Coast Home Pros offers luxurious maid services you can trust. Weekly, bi-weekly, or even one-time deep house cleaning. FirstCoastHomePros.com. FirstCoastHomePros.com.
When your vehicle needs an oil change, but you just haven't got the time, run into the newest Famous Quick Lube location on San Jose near Crown Point. It's the same fast, affordable vehicle care at your convenience. That's Famous Quick Lube.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Introducing an exciting update from DuckDuck Rooter. We're thrilled to expand our services with the launch of DuckDuck Air Conditioning. As a fully licensed mechanical contractor, our skilled team is equipped to handle any air conditioning and refrigeration project you have in mind. Contact DuckDuck Air Conditioning today at 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769. Or visit us online at duckduckac.com. DuckDuck Air Conditioning, your reliable partner in air conditioning and refrigeration services.
A big win for the Florida Gators.
Get inside the Gators with the Florida Gator Report.
I'm Taylor Dahl, and I'm your Gator Updater. Listen for the Gator Report several times a week on 1010XL.
Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is your dentist. Do me a favor and feel the front of your teeth. How grimy are they?
Ugh.
It's time for a Crest Pro Health reality checkup. That grime is the buildup of plaque bacteria that can cause cavities in just months. You need to switch to Crest Pro Health. While most toothpaste stop working in minutes, Crest Pro Health's antibacterial fluoride protects for up to 12 hours to stop cavities before they start. So pick some up on the way home. Smile. Crest has you covered.
What is North America's largest freshwater fish? The answer coming up.
How long has it been since you compared homeowners' insurance rates? Log on to southernoak.com to find an agent or get an instant quote online. Find us at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
North America's largest freshwater fish is the sturgeon, which this time of year you'll find swimming around in the Great Lakes.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason Stanley Pools is a family tradition of fine swimming pools. It's locally owned and run by the Stanley family since 1988. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build and renovate our pool, and they do a fantastic job of maintaining it. I've recommended Stanley Pools for years for pool construction, repairs, maintenance, and renovation. Call Stanley Pools at 269-7277 today to transform your backyard. That's Stanley Pools, 269-7277.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home this week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tomorrow is Community First 2 for Tuesday. Then 5-Star Good is Everywhere Wednesday, featuring Jacksonville Speech and Hearing Center. The weekend starts with Coors Light Thirsty Thursday, followed by Friday fireworks, backpack giveaway Saturday, and Family Sunday. Jumbo Shrimp home all week and weekend. Tickets start at just $5. Visit jackshrimp.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You think things are tough today and you can get canceled for this, canceled for that. I was listening to something involved with the Led Zeppelin documentary where they took a lot of guff for saying, I come from the land of ice and snow. People were uptight with that. I don't know if it was Eskimos or what. I mean, today you can't say anything, as we know. The Megan Rapone, was it Rapone?
Rapinoe.
I don't even know her name.
Right.
Megan Rapinoe was one of the most polarizing situations I've ever seen over the weekend. Folks wanting to see her miss the kick. Obviously politically driven. And I asked about it. I'm not a soccer guy. Yeah, I just don't watch soccer. I don't watch soccer. I don't watch tennis. I just don't. But, I kind of threw it out there. And my gosh, man, I mean, talk about accusatory. I was accused of being the leader of the GOP, and then I was accused of being, the other way. How could you make a comment like that after the things she has done, things she has said? So just by mentioning that, I upset a lot of folks who both lean left and right. Guess I learned my lesson. Not to mention Megan. What's her name again?
Rapinoe. And,
Okay.
and I said, were you the one that shared the video where she signed the autograph and for the kid and she never even looked at him?
Yeah, I did. And I actually kind of defended her on that. I was like, man, I've seen hundreds of people sign autographs or say, I'm not going to sign an autograph, and not look and smile. And I was like, look at this. Because the comments on it, there were thousands. And people were destroying her, and then people were defending her. And I'm like, is this the most disliked woman athletically that we have seen going back to Tanya Harding? I can't even think of anyone close to it.
No, I can't either.
I mean, OJ, right? But so anyway, that's it. I gave it 2 minutes. She's done now, right? I'm never going to talk about it again. I'll stay with the Jags. I'll stay with everything else. You mentioned her, and without any question, it becomes 100. Oh, the other thing was questioning. I'm making these You know what? Screw it. I'm not going to mention it anymore. Let's bring in Hacker.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping the sports world spinning with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
All right, Hacker Nation is here. Good to see you out at the Jaguars' 11th practice earlier today at the Plush Miller Electric Center.
Yeah, that was a physical one, man. We've been down there for many years. For about 2.5 hours, they got after it today. 98 degrees on the field, and boy, when they went live in that goal line and they continued, there were some spirited things happening out there.
I had him 6 for 6 on goal line.
Yeah, and it was interesting. ETN down there at the goal line, and then ETN was on with the NFL Network crew. And I don't know if you saw that, but he's very excited about Bigsby, and he said, they're going to share the workload, but make no mistake about it. He knows when it's crunch time, he's going to be in there. So ETN looks very, very motivated. And, of course, Bigsby probably had the play of the day today with that 70-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, the 70-yard touchdown run was incredible to watch. I also thought ETN showed a lot of toughness the way he scored those touchdowns. One at the pylon was a great play. I also thought Devin Lloyd in coverage. I mean, he didn't make the play. It would have been reviewed. Even though it hit the pylon, was a knee down before it hit the pylon. Right. That would have been a review call if it was on Sunday. But Devin Lloyd showed some serious speed being able to go east to west.
Yeah, I like Devin Lloyd, what he's done out there, absolutely. Are you surprised that Doug Peterson said basically to Scott Hansen and Steve Smith that, the starters are going to get out there a little bit against Dallas on Saturday?
Absolutely I am. But I'm trying to put all this together. I mean, we went from 16 to 17 games. You went to 4 to 3 preseason games. You went through COVID. You went through coaching changes. Then last year, when you're supposed to have 3, you had 4 because Baselli's induction in Canton. So I guess I'm just confused. But I was under the impression no preparation for Dallas, no starters. You'll do it certainly next week in Detroit when you practice with Detroit. But, yeah, it caught me by surprise.
Yeah, I was surprised. I don't know where I heard this. I was one of the shows here today. I want to give proper credit, so I won't say anything because I'm not exactly sure. But apparently Lawrence played 7 series in 2 preseason games last year. I don't remember him playing that much because he did not play in the Hall of Fame game. Mm-hmm. I know he played against Cleveland and he played the second game, did not play the final game. 7 series in 2 games seems like a lot, and I wonder if they follow the same blueprint. If they're successful, maybe you get him in and you get him out on Saturday, but if they go 3 and out a couple of times, maybe he gets the entire quarter.
This preseason is scary for all these coaches because you got to get them work. You got to get them ready. I mean, the last thing you want is to see your quarterback take a hit in the preseason.
Oh, man.
The other side is, well, you got to get them ready for game day. So it's I used to scream about this, and Bowden did it to some extent. Jimbo Fisher did it his entire. Let them go live on quarterbacks. And I was like, you got to be great. But how are you going to get them ready?
Yeah.
If they're not getting hit. So it's a damn if you do, damn if you know. What do you got coming up?
Yeah, we're absolutely loaded tonight. I was at practice Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Had the opportunity to catch up with Jaguar defensive lineman Devon Hamilton, also Jaguar rookie defensive lineman Tyler Lacey, and Jaguar wide receiver Kevin Austin. So we'll play all three of those tonight on Hacker After Dark. Also, it's a Monday night in August. That means we have a little Monday night coaching with Campo. Our man Dave Campo stops by at about 8:40.
Devon Hamilton might be the best defensive lineman so far in camp.
And he is enormous.
But he finally had, he fell down a lot early in his career. Looks like he's done something with his body, and all of a sudden he's starting to push back offensive linemen. I mean, you don't look at him as a sack guy, but I wouldn't be surprised if he starts, providing a little bit of help there when there is a pass rush. And the Lacey kid has really shown out in a lot of these practices.
Yeah, he actually told me, I don't want to give too much away, but he told me his head was spinning rookie minicamp and OTAs. He had trouble learning the playbook, which I thought was interesting, but he said he has it down now, and you can really tell he's starting to flourish out there.
Hacker Nation's up right now. Thank you to Agent Gibbs for producing the program. Again, tomorrow night after Helmets and Heels, we will be with you. Then the rest of the week, we will do it Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 6 until 8. The Jags are off tomorrow. Back at it Wednesday, and then it's going to be interesting. Florida State in Thursday and Friday. The Jags still practice Thursday. No practice for Jacksonville Friday as they head to Dallas. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do on Thursday. Thank you to Eric Hallett. Thank you to Luke Fortner. Thank you to Dave Campo. For Agent Gibbs, I'm Rick Ballou. I don't check the text line now that the show is over. If you want to get to me, Ballou 1010XL on Twitter. Talk with you Tuesday right here on the home of the Jags.
Another classic moment in Jags history.
Palmer the throw, and he's sacked back at the 11-yard line. And it's the massive tackle, Marcus Stroud.